Lechi Lach. We're going to sing a special song today, Lechi Lach. Did you get one, Robyn? Yeah.
I did. Where did I get? Where were they?
No, I didn't get it.
Oh, Margaret didn't get one. Wait, where's Rachel? You have any more?
I still don't have one. Who was bringing me up the lyric? Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Just speak up.
So, are we ready to begin, or
Wait
is
a
there?
minute.
Oh, I see. When we're gonna, Vicky is fixing the camera.
Maybe.
Maybe.
He usually respects. He said he was going to be. Come on, is your master? Yeah. I think it's doing something, but I don't know.
No?
It might be. It's on.
Well, Rachel is gonna be up first. She's, after our opening song.
Close enough.
Hi. Welcome. Oh, את מדברת עברית?
קצת.
אוקיי.
הייתי שם בשביל אולפן.
אולפן. או. קפה, תה, או אולי כוס יין. That used to be in the אולפן. Okay. Oh, hi there. Okay, are we ready? What's happening? Vicky, are we ready? Okay, I think we're ready. Yay. Okay. Yes. Shalom Aleichem. Avinu Shalom Aleichem. Avinu Shalom Aleichem. Avinu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. Avinu Shalom Aleichem. Avinu Shalom Aleichem. Avinu Shalom Aleichem. Avinu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. Well, Shalom Aleichem. Now you have to answer Aleichem Shalom. That's right. That's right. Sort of a little twist and turn there in the Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom. It's a custom. And now I would like to invite Rachel up to light the candles in honor of her grandfather, Kenneth Henderson, whose yahrzeit it is tonight. He passed in 2022. We're on page 120 if you want to see it in the book.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzilanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Okay. know you want to sing it, right, Robyn? No, okay, let's move on then, yay!
No, you can sing it.
No, we're moving on to 138, which is Lecha Dodi, 138. Only 9 verses. We only sing 2 verses, just FYI, the first and the last. But I think they've actually left out quite a few in this book. Because, maybe not, because it is one of those that where the poem has the first letter in each of the verses shows the name of the man who wrote the words. So if you look in the Hebrew, you see, verse 1, Shin, verse 2, Lamed, verse 3, Mem, verse 4, Hey. So you got Shlomo. And then 5 through 9, it says Halevi. Shlomo Halevi, the author of the prayer. Okay. Adodi, likrat kala b'nei Shabbat, nekabla, lecha dodi, likrat kala b'nei Shabbat, nekabla, shamor וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת בלי תהילה. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala b'nei Shabbat, nekabla, Ovi v'shalom, ateret ha'ala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola. Shabbat, nekabla, lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabla. And if you turn to page 142, you might find an extra page. You might. If you haven't found it, tell me. Okay, very good, because it has, guess what? 2 bonus verses for Shalom Aleichem I have.
I put it in the book with that page.
That's, Bunny's got the right idea. Oh, I think Myra doesn't have it.
One, please raise hand.
Myra doesn't have it. How about you, Margaret? Do you have it?
I have it.
Oh, good. How about you, Kim? How about you? You got it? Great. Okay.
Margaret, you have one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I wrote these last 2 verses in English, Kim, because I thought, these verses were written in the Middle Ages, so it's not exactly that we really understand what he's even talking about. He's talking about, the angels that come, the angels that go, all of those things, But what is Shalom Aleichem really about? Well, the last two verses that I wrote really talk about it. It's about the spirit of the Sabbath and all of the things that we'd like to invite in for Shabbat. Oh, thank you, Robyn.
Is this too low for you? Would you like
Would
you like it just
Is that one note higher?
a third higher?
Oh, Shalom Aleichem. That's fine.
Because I'm recording and I want to make sure I've got the right key.
Okay, I hope it is. I think so.
Okay, here we go. And
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Bieberl, Malachei Amlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Loachem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Bieberl, Malachei Amlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nile Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Bieberl, Malachei Hamlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitzem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Bieberl, Malachei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, and to all our friends as well. Welcome, angels on high. Come and join us at our Shabbat table. Share our cup of joy. Come join our singing. Let your spirit soar with us. Together we will rise tonight. When we gather, fellowship and joy abound. Love and peace are filling our hearts. And then, as Bunny suggested, let's all put it right back there in the book where it belongs. And we turn now to page 146 for the Shema. Who would like to be our monitor to open the curtains? Oh, Eileen, you don't have to. Let's, who?
David. David, you want to?
Oh, David, yay, David.
Thank you, Rabbi.
All right. Okay, and what happens when the ark opens?
We stand out.
Right. I just want you to know, this is our minhag. Oh, what's that, Rabbi? Minhag, that means custom. And some people don't get up for the Shema. I'm just telling you. Because if you ever are in another synagogue and they don't get up, you don't have to tell them, oh, you're doing it wrong. Okay? Because guess what? If you read the prayer that comes right after it, Ve'ahavta, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might, and these words, and so on. And you can say them when you're sitting in your house, when you're walking by the way, when you're lying down, and when you're rising up. So you see that? You can say it in any position you're in. Okay. So it is our custom to be standing up. So here we are. Wait a minute. I just introduced the wrong prayer. Oh, my goodness gracious, a mistake has been made, and it's me. Yeah, the Baruch Hu is first. You know what knocked me off? You see at the top of the page there, those of you who read Hebrew, it says, Shema uvirchotecha. Here's something else you can know. Oh, the Shema and its blessings. And guess what's part of that? The Baruch Hu. So save that notion of the Shema for the next page, and we're going to do the Baruch Hu first. La 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 la. Oh, that's a little high. La 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 la. It's okay. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai, Amevorach, Baruch Adonai, Amevorach, Amevorach, Leolam Vaed. Amevorach, Amevorach, Leolam Vaed. Okay, and we go immediately to page 152, where we continue with the Shema. Ready? Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. On page 154 is the Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרת נאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Do you have the prayer for abundance with you? Is that available, or did that just get lost? What is it? It's no Hebrew. I wrote it in English. No? Okay. You know what? We'll shelve that for now. Kim and is it Steve Abrams? Yeah. They're what? What, Vicki?
You could read it if you have it.
Oh, I could. Okay. Well, I'd have to search it out, so I'm not going to do it. Okay, but you know what? I'm gonna get some more copies made and we'll have them for everybody, and we'll put them in the book somewhere, and then, okay. Okay, so ein davar, that means it's of no consequence. Let's stand together, let's please close the ark. And everyone, you can be seated, and let's read together.
I have the announcements.
Oh, but is that,
Whenever.
Okay. Thank you, Eileen. That's going to be in a little bit.
Okay. I'm ready.
Oh, I see, it was supposed to be before the Baruch. I get you. All right, after this reading, okay?
Whenever.
On page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, is everybody reading? A world far from wholeness and peace. Give us the courage to say Adonai. There is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai, we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and time again, we overcame oppressive forces. Through our failings are many, and our faults are great. It has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. And I think that was actually the most appropriate prayer for tonight, because I know you must be feeling a little bit how I'm feeling, extremely disappointed, extremely upset by the outcome of you know what, which I won't mention. But here we are, and we're not going to quit. And it says right here, it's been our glory to bear witness to God and keep it alive in dark ages. And that is the truth. It's actually our job as Jews. I'm going to talk more about this in the drosh tonight. Okay, and now I would like to call on our President Pro Tem, Eileen, who would like to come and give us the announcements.
Okay. Announcements.
Announcements.
Okay. Services are conducted by Rabbi Janet Bieberl and our music director, Robyn Kreisberg. Religious school is in session this Sunday, and the sisterhood is meeting this Sunday at 11 a.m. Everybody's welcome to join us. Book club will meet on Wednesday, November 20th at 7 p.m. And we're reading An Unorthodox Match, a novel by Naomi Reagan. And I started it. Really is
Very good. I read that.
Isn't it a good book?
Yeah.
And 2 weeks from tonight, Temple Beth Emet will have a booth at Holiday in the park on Magnolia. We will have a brief Shabbat service at 7 p.m. We will let you know the exact location as soon as it is assigned to us. And we continue to collect non-perishable food for local food banks and new unwrapped toys and items for teens at Children's Hospital. No stuffed animals, please. And remember to designate Temple Beth Emet with the Ralph's Community Rewards Program at Temple Beth Emet of Burbank. There's a lot of Temple Beth Emets.
That's right.
And we'll get a small donation every time you shop. It adds up.
Thank you. Okay, and we continue now on page 158 with the Mi Chamocha, that prayer that we sang at the shore of the Sea of Reeds, known more popularly as the Red Sea. It's a typo. Did you know that? Yeah. Oh, Kim's an insider. Cool. She knew all about that. Did you know too? Yeah, cool. All right.
Let us in on it.
Oh, all right. Well, Kim, you want to say?
I don't know where the typo's from, but it was the reed sea, right?
Right. In Hebrew, it's Yam Suf, which means the sea of reeds. And somebody who was changing it into English said, oh, the sea of reeds, what does that mean? I bet they meant red. Yeah, but it's a sea of reeds because, you know, papyrus grows in reeds. You all familiar with papyrus? It's a green thing that when you pick it and open up those reeds, you can turn it into paper. Do you hear that? Papyrus, paper. Okay, that was the first kind of paper there was. Okay. Yabba bye bye bim bam, yabba bye bye bim bam, yabba bye bye bim bam, bye 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 bye, yabba bye bye bim bam, bye 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 bye, yabba bye bye bim bam. We hamocha neda bakodesh, we hamocha neda bakodesh, no ratei lo tosefele, no ratei lo tosefele. Bye 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 bye, yabba bye 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 bye, bye 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 bye, yabba bye 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 bye, bye 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 bye, yabba bye 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 bye, bye 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 bye, yabba bye 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 bye. Ma'avutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ve'liyanu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Bye 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 bye, yabba bye 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 bye, bye 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 bye, yabba bye 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 bye, bye 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 bye, yabba bye 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 bye, bye 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 bye, yabba bye 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 bye. Tifada Adonai et Yaakov, u'ge'alo mi'achazak minenu, Baruch atah Adonai God Yisrael. Ya bye 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 bye, ya bye 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 bye, ya bye 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 bye, ya bye 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 bye, bye 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 bye, ya bye 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 bye, bye 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 bye, ya bye 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 bye. Okay, we continue on page 161, reading together, give us a place to rest. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence our acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Veshamru is on page 162. If you want to take notes, it's all the rules for Shabbat. Okay? Just in case you didn't know. 1 second. Shamru Ne'Yisrael et HaShabbat. Robyn, I'm sorry to bother you, but can we go lower one note? Okay, thank you. Because you're going to see it's going to go way high there.
G minor it is.
Oh, thank you. I just want you to know that isn't something that everybody can do what Robyn does. Robyn is a real musician. And therefore you can say to her, could you please go one note lower? And she knows what you're saying and she does it. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
The moment when we take just a little bit of a window of time and we say, oh, did anything extraordinary happen to you this week that you'd like to share with the congregation? Oh, I see David.
Well, there's two things that
Yeah.
happened. I was able to pass my DOT medical to keep my commercial license on Tuesday.
Speak up, David.
I was able to keep my CDL by way of a medical exam over at Kaiser, bless their hearts. And I took it over to DMV and I've got another 2 years of commercial riding. Just to let you know, that was one of the things that I was preparing for in your absence here from the temple. From my absence, that is.
Mazel tov. And the other?
And of course, a little bit of schlepping of horses too in the interim. So I was busy.
All righty. Anyone else? Okay, yes?
For anyone, and I'm guessing most everyone in this room, who felt as badly about things this week, if you haven't listened to Kamala Harris's concession speech, listen to it from beginning to end, because
Yes.
no one was as down as I was, and I gotta tell you, I finished her speech, it helped me, it really did. It was very positive and talked about going through the dark and fighting and being such a mensch in the sense of she did things the right way, she said things the right way, she talked about transition, she talked about helping, and she talked about things, whereas I was so distraught. I actually sought out help to speak to somebody because I was so distraught. And that speech made a difference.
Thank you. I heartily agree. Also today, Tim Waltz did his speech, and it was really inspiring. Not as much so as what you're talking about, Kamala, but it was really wonderful to hear what he has to say. What did you want to say, Bunny?
No, I was just commenting about what Eileen said.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, crosstalk, I see. Okay, just trying to keep it light. Because, oh boy, we could get dark. We could. But you know, one thing Kamala said, which was a beautiful thing, she said, in the darkest of times, we see who are the brightest stars. And that is really true. And, you know, as bad as it is here, and I am not saying it's good, because we're in for it, you know it as well as I do. Being the kind of people who don't want to be controlled by others, who want our own rights and autonomy and agency, we're not happy about what happened. But it's not as terrible as it might be seen as. And the worst thing that we can do is to go back into our closets and hide. We don't want to do that. Because if we do that, then they really did win. And no, it's very temporary. In 2 years, this is the dream I'm putting out. We're going to have a blue wave, okay? In the interim election, we're going to have a back over of the Senate and the House. Now, we haven't come to the end of the House race yet, but anyway, it's not always what we wish, but we don't have to give up our power. That's basically what we're talking about. Okay,
Thank goodness we're in California.
yes,
Amen to that, Margaret.
yes.
What did she say?
Thank goodness we're in California, she said. Okay, now we have the Misha Barach, 371. 371.
We open the ark.
No. Oh, you think?
Yeah, we should open the ark.
Okay. David will open the ark, and so we will rise for the Misha Barach. And think of the people in your life and around the planet who need our extra help and God's extra help for healing tonight. And not only healing of body, but healing of mind and healing of soul. Okay. Bless those in need of strength, to bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Berach imotenu mikor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And we turn back to page 166, where we stay risen. Okay, for the Amidah, which actually means stand up. La'amod means to stand. Amidah means the standing prayer. Guess what? This is the oldest prayer we have. This is the first prayer that was substituted for the sacrifices, okay? And it's no accident there that they call it 18 benedictions. Now we have many more. What do you think they do with those prayer books? You think they take out the old prayers? No. That's how come we have this big of a prayer book. Okay? So if I skip things, then you'll know, oh, that's okay. Because we can't possibly do this entire book. We'll be here till next Wednesday. Okay. Okay. So we have our Amidah. We say silently. So we go from page 166 to 180 and find a paragraph that really speaks to your heart. Okay. On page 178, we have Shalom Rav. Ready?
What, give me you starting?
Okay. Shalom Rav. Okay, good. Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Okay. I'll be calling on you in a minute there, David.
Okay.
Okay, so, good, everybody knows what that means. Don't have to say. All right, we're gonna take a minute now to talk about the Torah. We have a terrific Torah portion today. It's one of my favorites. It's called Lech Lecha. Lech Lecha. Now you got yourselves a song that was written on the basis of this Torah portion. It was written by Debbie Friedman. Everybody remembers her. May her memory be for a blessing as it is. I want you to know Debbie would be so deeply grateful and pleased that her name is mentioned and that we know all of the contributions she made. It was very, very, very important to her. You should only know. We'll be singing that in just a minute. So, leaders lead. That does not mean to say that they do not follow. What they follow, though, is different from what most people follow. They don't conform for the sake of conforming. They don't do what others do merely because others are doing it. They follow an inner voice, a kol demama daka. Have you ever heard of that word? It's such an interesting Hebrew phrase because the word kol is voice. Demama, it's onomatopoeia. Does everybody know what that means? That word means it sounds like what it is. For instance, in Hebrew, if you're pouring something, it makes a sound, bakbuk, 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 right? Well, that's the name for bottle in Hebrew, bakbuk, because that's the sound. Okay, this one is what were we talking about? Kol demama daka. Demama, what does that sound like? Murmuring, okay? It's the voice that's so quiet inside of you, the one that you cannot hear unless you're willing to be quiet enough and centered enough to hear your own still small voice, which we all feel if you're hearing the real emes, the real center of it. That is the voice of God, okay? So these leaders, they have a vision, not of what is, but of what might be, of what must be in the world in order for it to be right. They think outside the usual. So remember God's words to Abraham. What did he say? He said, leave your land, your birthplace, your father's house, and go to the land that I will show you. That is, by the way, in case you want to know, Genesis chapter 12 in our Torah portion. And these are the words that launched our culture. Because Abraham, even though there was nothing close to a Jew at that time, Jews, the name Jew came very much later than that, about 2,000 years later at least. And, but Abraham was the beginning. Did Abraham need to leave everything he knew? And if he did, why? Does anybody have an idea? Why would a leader, God is telling a man and his wife, Sarah, go, leave the place you were born, leave the house you know, leave the land where you are part of the community. Why would a person do such a thing? Imagine. You would be free of everything you knew before, and you'd be much freer to be able to know what it is that kol demama daka, that still small voice, is saying inside of you. That's right, it's a fresh start, and it's a way to see yourself not in the midst of everything you knew and know, but among a new landscape and new conditions, and all of it helps you get in touch with your true leadership. So we adopt the standards. This is a usual human practice. We adopt the standards and absorb the culture of the time and place where we live. And that is from the instruction, your land. That's why God says, leave your land. At a deeper level, we're influenced by friends and neighbors. That is your birthplace. We are shaped by our parents and the family in which we grew up. That is your father's house. So God is asking Abraham and Sarah to leave all of those things. And you and me, none of us here are spring chickens, okay? We're all over 20 years old. And yet, even if, God forbid, our parents aren't still with us, they are still in us. And we were raised by them. And we were taught by them. And their words, their expressions, their instruction, it comes through us every day. I'm sure you hear it in your own voice, right? So it's important to realize that that's true. It's not a bad thing, but it is a real thing. So God says to Abraham, I want you to be different. Not for just the sake of being different, but for the sake of starting something new. A religion that will not worship power and symbols of power. That is what idols really were, and indeed are still. And God says, in Genesis, I want you to teach your children and your household afterward to follow the way of God by doing what is right and what is just. To be a Jew is to be willing to challenge the prevailing consensus. This can be dangerous, right? Remember the 6 million? Yeah. If we think of idols in terms of their physical appearance, you've seen them in the museums, the statues, the figurines, the icons. Those things belong to ancient times. We've long outgrown that. The way to think of idols is in terms of what they represent. Today, and also in the past, they symbolize power. It's all about power. That is what Ra was for the Egyptians, right? Ra was the sun god. Without the power of the light, you cannot grow food. Without food, you can't live. That's incredible power. Baal was for the Canaanites. Zeus was for the Greeks. And what about today? Bombs and missiles. Same thing. I got more bombs than you, and you better be afraid and do what I say. Power allows us to rule over others without their consent. Oh, gee, that sounds familiar. I'm going to be your protector, whether you want it or not. Oh, gee, why do you feel insulted if I say, gee, that doesn't feel very protective to me? That feels kind of oppressive. And that's exactly what it is, because again, power allows us to rule over others without their consent. There's nothing kind or good about it, unless you're saving a child from burning their hand on a stove, okay? Yeah, that is good. Don't let the dog run in the street. Excellent, okay. As a Greek historian once put it, and this is a quote from his book, he said, "The strong do what they wish, and the weak suffer what they must." It's so unhappy to think about that. But Judaism is a sustained critique of power. That's what we've done throughout the ages. We say, I don't think so. We're not going to go along with that. We are always envisioning a better world with truth and justice for all. Our tradition envisions how a nation can be formed on the basis of a shared commitment and collective responsibility. That's what you and I want, right? That's what we're hoping for. How to construct a society that honors the human person as the image and likeness of God. It is about a vision never fully realized, but never abandoned, of a world based on justice and compassion, in which, as Isaiah says, and this is a quote from Isaiah, "They will neither harm nor destroy on all my holy mountain, for the earth will be filled with the knowledge of God as waters cover the sea." It's going to be everywhere, in other words. Here's something. Abraham is without a doubt the most influential person who ever lived. Today, he is claimed as spiritual ancestor of 2.3 billion Christians, 1.8 billion Muslims, and 14 million of us Jews. More than half the people that are alive on the planet today claim Abraham as an ancestor. Yet he ruled no empire, he commanded no army, performed no miracles, and he proclaimed no prophecy. He is the supreme example in all of history of influence without power. It's really quite remarkable. And why does he have all this influence? Because he did what God asked, and he tried to bring justice and righteousness to the world. He tried to make it right. And thank God, it's him who's the most influential human being that ever lived. As the sages say, he was called Ha-Ivri. Oh, some of you say, oh, that means the Hebrew. Because, well, Hebrew means the one who crosses over. And because all the world was on one side, and Abraham was on the other. Leadership, as every leader knows, can be lonely, yet you continue to do what you have to do because you know that the majority is not always right, and conventional wisdom not always wise. Guess what? Dead fish go with the flow. Live fish swim against the current. So it is with conscience and courage. So it is with the children of Abraham. We must be prepared to challenge the idols of our time. After the Holocaust, some scientists, social scientists, were haunted by the question of why were so many people ready and willing to go along with the horrid behavior and killing and violence and cruelty that was going on, the greatest crimes against humanity. And so, a social scientist named Solomon Asch, oh, I guess he was Jewish, he had a study done. He assembled a group of people presenting with a series of simple tests. They were shown 2 cards, one with a line on it, the other with 3 lines of different lengths. And they were asked which line was the same size as the line on the first card. So one participant was not clued in, but the rest of the participants were instructed to give the correct answer a couple of times, and then after a few times went by, they were instructed to give the wrong answer. So the one person that hadn't been informed about this was very upset and said, "No, you're wrong. That's not the correct line. Can't you see? That line is bigger, that line is smaller, whatever." So After a few times though, that person was so uncomfortable not being part of the group that he answered, "Oh, okay, yeah, it's number 1. Okay?" Such is the power of the pressure to conform. It can lead us to say what we know is not true. Astonishing, but terribly true. Then there was the Stanford experiment, and I bet you remember this. This was in the 70s. There was a professor named Philip Zimbardo. I actually studied this in my freshman year at UCLA when I was in oh, you studied also that? You know what I'm gonna say?
UCLA.
Oh, okay.
I graduated in 70.
Okay, alma mater friend. There we go. Okay. It was a class studying the philosophy of, are we free or are we determined? Freedom versus determinism. Are you familiar with that? In other words, when you're born, is it determined what will happen to you, how you will grow, to what heights you will rise, or is everything determined? Like, for instance, we can all kind of concede that if you're an ant, you are born in a certain place, you're going to do what the group does, which is walk in lines and get the food, bring it back to the nest. They're determined, their life is determined. Okay, so that's the backdrop. The participants were randomly assigned roles as guards or prisoners in a mock prison, right? You remember that. Within days, the student cast as guards were behaving abusively, some of them subjecting the prisoners to psychological torture. The students cast as prisoners put up with this passively, even siding with the guards against those who resisted. The experiment was called off after 6 days because even Zimbardo, the professor in charge, had found himself drawn into the artificial reality that he had created himself. The pressure to conform to assigned roles is so strong to lead people into doing what they know is absolutely wrong. It is sadly kind of a default of human nature. That is why Abraham, at the start of his mission, was told to leave his land, his birthplace, and his father's house, to free himself from the pressure to conform. Leaders must be prepared not to follow the consensus. One of the great writers about leadership, a man named Warren Bennis, wrote a book called On Becoming a Leader. And I'm reading you a quote. "By the time we reach puberty, the world has shaped us into a greater extent than we realize. Our family, friends, and society in general have told us, by word and by example, just how to be. But people begin to become leaders only at the moment when they decide for themselves how to be. Otherwise, you're just a follower." One reason why Jews have become out of proportion to our numbers, leaders in almost every sphere of human endeavor, is precisely this willingness to be different. Throughout the centuries, Jews have been most striking example of a group that refused to assimilate to the dominant culture or to convert to the dominant faith. One other finding of sociologist Solomon Asch is worth mentioning. When just one other person, just one, is willing to support the individual who could see that the wrong answer, that the wrong thing was being done, it gave that person strength to stand up against the rest. That's why, however small our numbers, Jews created communities. It is hard to lead alone, far less hard to lead in the company of others, even if you are a minority, and boy are we. 14 million, right? Remember those numbers I read at first? 2.8 million Christians, 1.8 million Muslims,
Billion.
A billion, thank you so much. Thank you. Billion, we're 14 million, okay? And, anyway. Just one last thing. Jews were prepared to do what the poet Robert Frost immortalized. I know you all know this. Two roads diverged in a wood, and you can join me, I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Amen.
I don't think so.
Okay. We continue now with the Aleinu on page 591, and David's going to get to do his job once more. 591. Aleinu. Oh, forgive me. Before you open that, I'm sorry, why don't you sit here for a sec? Let's sing Lechi Lach, because I want to have that in your mind. Just so you know, Lech Lecha is the male form, you go, right? Lechi Lach, it's the female form, you go. Okay. To a land that I will show you, Lech Lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi Lach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi Lach. Lech Lecha, and I shall make your name great. Lechi Lach, and all shall praise your name. Lechi Lach, on your journey I will bless you. Lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lechi lach. And you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. And you shall be a blessing. Lechi Lach. And we continue on page 586, where we have Aleinu. You know, Stacy, you don't have to stand up if it's more comfortable for you, really.
It's just moving.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm so sorry. Okay. Ready? Aleinu l'shameach l'adon hakol, l'ten gedula le'otzer reshit, shelo asanu kanzor, ve'lo samanu k'mishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. בשמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומשה יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבהי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אלוהינו, אמת מלכנו, אפס סולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, ודעת היום והשבותה בלבבך.
כי אדוני
בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. 591 ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו We continue standing for the Mourner's Kaddish. We have November yard sites, Penny Puss, Kenneth Henderson, who is the grandfather of Rachel and the father of Stacy and the father-in-law of Paul. I'm so sorry, Alan. Hannah Davis, Edward Bernstein, Sam Miller, Musa Hakaka, Elana Gleenert, Leona Zolman, Fran Bernstein, Joel Sussman, Gerald Rosenfeld, Ron Shankman, Ron Caden, Elise Noodleman, Deborah Faishal, and my friend who passed away yesterday. I'm so sorry to tell you. You didn't know her probably, but her name was Reverend Beverly Craig. And she was the Reverend at the Center for Spiritual Living in Tahunga. I said the wrong one. La Crescenta, and has been a dear friend of mine for the last 20 years or so, 15 years or so. And she got very ill and she passed yesterday. So the Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, ve'alma divrach chiruteh v'yamlich malachuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei v'chol beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpo'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, Vitadar, vitale, vitalal, shemei, v'kudesha, rechu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tush berchata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya v'chayim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom v'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. And okay, you may be seated as I give you the priestly blessing. May the Lord bless us and keep us. Yevarechecha, Adonai v'yishmerecha. Everybody, Kain yehi ratzon. May God's light shine upon us, and may God be gracious to us. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Kain yehi ratzon. May we feel God's presence within us always, and may we find peace. Yisa Adonai panav elecha, ve'asem lecha shalom. Ken yehi ratzon. We'll see you in the Yoneh.
Robyn left? Yes, she did.
Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'yimru amen. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. You know, give her a break because she was hurting. Her mouth was hurting. Yeah. Is anyone going west? Yes, thank you. Here,
It's the westernmost street in Burbank.
Clybourne,
You did.
Clybourne, right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Clybourne between Chandler and
I have a cousin Paul, he's not.
That's right where,
Oh.
yeah, I only have a bicycle, so I didn't want to freeze. And standing on the corner, I still warm, I looked
I
at
brought you pictures. You said you couldn't figure out how I could manage the stairs, so I brought you some pictures. I'll show you when we go back. Let's see, careful.
Well, I'm glad you're laughing, it was good.
Jamie and Abby.
After we started stopping.
What was that? After the she does campaign, websites, marketing, stuff like that.
It's such a challenge to get this in the right place.
Yeah, so she does. We have a talk Shabbat.
Do I move this all the way so you can?
No, that's fine.
She's gotten to the end. Yeah, there's no time.
You can get the,
And they
just put back and then put forward.
that's for sure. Yeah, she took her, I'm sorry, sleeping. Yeah, she took her son.
They don't like to.
Talk Shabbat. Oh, that was on a Saturday. Yeah. So you think we're doing?
You made it.
Yeah, because I was supposed to tell.
We gotta keep moving.
Absolutely.
At Skirball. I was supposed to tell them yesterday, and that was kind of short lived. Okay.
Are you able to lift this? Is this hard, please?
Long short, this is.
Bring that to either of the two brothers.
Okay, because I'm gonna get the water in the car. Oh, Lord. Okay, you didn't put it in the car. So many people were feeling very uncomfortable tonight in their body. You know, Robyn and also Stacy.
They said, I called her, they said, we don't have a driver yet, this is 20 minutes after I ordered
And why?
You guys want what? Wine, okay.
it's, you know, in the conservative prayer process, it's always at the end of the day. I don't know. What should I do? Is that good? You wanna come get your Paula? No, I didn't make Trader Joe's, but it's that Paula coming together. That's my favorite. That's not my fault. I did first,
I've got several trips since I had mine done, and nothing happened. 14 and 17. It changed the
Well, with commercial drivers, you know, they have to be, physically. The only restriction I have to do is I have to work directly, you know,
But when you said you liked the blackberry wine, I was like, you're gonna make me cake.
That's my mother, parentheses, for my dad.
it is a free.
I made all.
I know my dad's favorite, that's what we're calling it at our site. I had another lady that talked about
So the key to it is you just gotta make sure you keep your windows. So you don't have any scum on the inside. I don't think your husband is no shield. Because you know, Robyn was in the same group that he is. Similar.
Okay, so we'll talk